What up, homies? It's your boy Stev, and welcome to the bracket. Back in 2020, like most of the world, me and Ash didn't have a lot going on, so we decided to make a list of the 130 greatest movies of all time and pit them against each other, tournament style, to see which ones came out on top. We judged them against each other in 5 categories: production, writing, acting, originality, and rewatchability. Whichever movie took the most categories moved on. Don't get me wrong, it was rarely unanimous between us, but it was always a lot of fun. Just a heads up, we did record these a few years ago, so if the timeline feels a bit weird, that's why. If you want to check out the list of the 130 movies, I'll put a link to our website in the description below. So without further ado, let's all go back to the land of 2020, where all we did was sit at home, drink excessively, and watch flicks. Enjoy. Budapest versus Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, Little Miss Sunshine.
I like these movies.
Why were you so great? Oh, grand and little.
It sounds weird. I didn't even think about it.
I didn't think about that either, actually.
But that's why I did it, though. If anybody asks, it's very cool.
All right. If anybody asks, you guys, don't tell our secrets.
What do you think?
So I have seen Little Miss Sunshine before many, many times. I actually own it on Blu-ray, and I only own like 5 movies on Blu-ray, if that means something. I just watched Grand Budapest my first time like 4 hours ago.
Okay.
Honestly, I didn't mind it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's why we watch movies.
So that's good. That's a step. I actually watched and I paid attention the entire time, so that's good. It's very rare. Yeah, I don't know. I liked both. What do you think? I know you liked Grand Budapest. I know that.
Okay, I like both as well. If you were to ask me why I put these movies together, I don't know. I had a reason when I put them together, but I don't actually remember what it is. And watching them, they are nothing alike. They are so different. Maybe in the type of humor, no, they're not really though, because the Grand Budapest is actually pretty light, and Little Miss Sunshine really isn't.
Little Miss Sunshine is so heavy.
It's so heavy.
It's so heavy. And it starts off so, like, sweet, and then it's like, oh, we're going darker and deeper, and oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So Grand Budapest I saw I saw both these movies in theaters when they were coming out. So actually I once saw Grand Budapest on during me and Melissa's honeymoon.
No way.
Yeah, she wanted to go to a mall. We made it to Florida, and she's like, "I want to go to this mall," and I'm like, "Okay." And then walked in, and there was a movie theater, and I was just kind of eyeing it. And she's like, "Do you want to go see a movie?" I was like, "Mm-hmm." She's
you saw a movie on your honeymoon?
Well, she wanted to shop,
oh,
so she got to shop for 2 hours.
Did you give her your credit card at least to shop?
I don't remember.
You're an ass on your honeymoon.
I'd love to say I drove most of the way to Florida, but I don't think I did that.
I love that. Your wife is so funny.
But seeing the movie, I loved it. And so here's the thing about the Grand Budapest Hotel. When it was coming out, I was really excited for it.
Okay.
A gentleman by the name of Wes Anderson wrote and directed it. Same guy who wrote and directed Rushmore, which was a movie earlier in the tournament. So that was one of his first. And
which makes sense. It's kind of the same humor.
Right.
It's the same quick humor.
And even the cinematography is very symmetrical. Everything.
Whenever they do the panning from the right to the left.
So I was really excited for this movie. So when I saw it, I was pumped. It didn't disappoint in any way.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen this before. Obviously it's been done before, but the idea of everything, anytime you see the hotel, it's a scale model, but it's obviously a scale model. I think it's awesome.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it. It's so interesting. Their use of models and even the skiing scene. It's obviously claymation or whatever they do. I love that. I think it's fantastic.
It was obviously super cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think every character, it's they're all hamming it up. They're all cranked to 12. I love Willem Dafoe as the gangster. I love Adrian Brody as the son. You know what I mean? Like
Edward Norton was a weird one
random.
to appear in there. Oh, so was
Harvey Keitel was another really random
that's
one.
hilarious. No, it wasn't Bill Murray. Not is that his name?
Bill Murray's in it too.
Is he?
Yeah, Bill Murray is the guy who.
Is that Jeff Goldblum was in that too?
Oh, Jeff Goldblum's in it.
Everybody. It was the most weirdest cameos. I didn't even know Harvey Keitel was in it.
Yeah, he's the guy in prison.
Let's go back.
Yeah, and I love the idea that like I don't know, there's something about the movie where like whenever they swear or something happens, it catches you off guard because it's not that type of movie.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like the movie's so light and colorful, and then there's like a scene where a dude gets his fingers chopped off, and you're like, holy shit. Like, it's so violent.
Yeah.
There's a couple of scenes. There's another scene where a dude gets stabbed to death.
Yeah.
Like, right in front of you, and you're just like, oh my God. It's like, but like, you just don't see it coming because it's not that type of movie, right? So, I don't know. There's something just about the movie that I really enjoy because it just subverts expectations, and I'm a big fan of it.
Right.
Plus, Ralph Fiennes is giving probably one of the best performances I've ever seen. He is so good as Gustav.
Yeah.
As M. Gustav, he's so good. But Little Miss Sunshine, the cast is spectacular there too. Like Steve Carell before he was in fucking The 40-Year-Old Virgin, before he was on The Office.
No,
Yeah.
that was like his like outbreak.
I want to say this movie was filmed right before that. So this movie was filmed. The first time director, first time writer.
Which I find hilarious because that's not a movie you would think of him as like, that's the actor I want. Like, he's so great in that movie.
It's true, and that's what's interesting about it. So it's actually a pair of directors. It's like a couple, I want to say, and this was their first movie. And yeah, the writer it was his first time writing, and like, I want to say they wanted a big actor for that part to play Frank. Oh, it's pouring.
Yeah. Is that loud on the microphone?
No, I didn't even hear it.
Okay, go on.
You looked up and it tripped me out.
Well, I'm like, is he going to stop? Is it loud? I don't know.
If it's raining, it's raining. Okay.
Okay.
So they wanted a big part. They wanted a big person to play that part. But then they ended up getting Alan Arkin to play the dad. Like, like the grandfather. And they're like, you know what? We'll give this guy a chance. So they filmed the movie. But in between the movie being filmed and coming out, 40-Year-Old Virgin comes out and The Office starts.
Oh, shit.
So all of a sudden, this guy's huge. I think the only thing he did before that was Anchorman. That's probably the only thing he did.
Oh.
He plays Brick, right? In Anchorman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Which is... I love Lamp.
I love Lamp.
Yeah. Are you saying that because you're looking... I love Lamp.
Menstrual cycle.
That's
Tracks bears.
That's one of my favorite movies. I actually have Ron Burgundy's autobiography. I love it. It's great.
You hear that, Ed? Bears. Are you putting all station in jeopardy?
Love it. Yeah. In that, but I understand, like, that was his, like, first, thing, but I don't count him as a big part in that movie.
Frank, he's the biggest... He's one of the most important characters in the movie.
I don't think so.
He's the voice of reason, right? He's the audience stand-in, which is what's so interesting about his character.
No, I mean an Anchorman.
Oh, we're talking about Brick. Sorry, never mind.
Oh, I'm like, why is he the voice of Brick? He loves lamps. What?
I love
I love carpet. No, and Anchorman. So like,
yeah.
I wouldn't count that as him and Little Miss Sunshine.
I hear you.
Because Little Miss Sunshine, what you just
he's
said.
Serious, yeah.
He is like he's like the only brain in that vehicle.
Which is
weird, but
it's super interesting because, like, not obviously this isn't a spoiler. The opening of the film,
right?
He tried to kill himself. So it's very interesting that he is the sanest person in the car at all times. Everybody else, except for maybe Dwayne, he's so sane that he's on the verge of insanity. Like
I know, and you're right though, and I find that funny that there are scenes whenever they're like, what are we gonna do with Dwayne? And he's like, Frank's like, it's fine, I'll stay with him. Like, why are you guys freaking out?
Yeah,
like he's so calm, and he explains later like why he tried to kill himself. But he is actually somehow the voice of reason in that car, which I find hilarious. Except for, obviously, her, the little girl.
Oh, the little girl. Yeah. She's definitely
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's sweet in the movie. I think Greg Kinnear gives a great performance. I think Toni Collette's fantastic in it too. Who like we just saw in Hereditary, right? So it's nice to see her still like getting some fucking meaty jobs, right? Like,
oh
she played
the mom. I was like, wait, who's the daughter now? Yeah. What, I'm trying to think of her name. What's the daughter's name?
Oh, Abigail Breslin?
No, it starts with a V. What's the daughter's name in the movie?
Olive.
Olive. It's not with a V. What? Am I drunk?
It ends with a V. That's the thing. So like, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, she did play Hereditary, and that came out like last year.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice that it came out a couple years ago, but like,
I saw it last year.
Maybe like 2-3 years, but it's nice to see her still working, and she's great in both of these roles as like the mom. Like, so
Hereditary was a very stretched character of her. Like, she never played a character like that before.
It's true.
Man, that one scene when she's like screaming at the table, my soul left my body. I felt so bad for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like her. Honestly, as an actress, she's great.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. With that being said, I do have to score these two movies, and like I said, they are so different. I'd love to say it's hard, but I unfortunately lean a particular way to the point where I kind of have to give Grand Budapest all 5 of my points.
All 5.
I couldn't think of a single thing. It's better written, I think. I think it's better acted. I think it's more original. Do you know what I mean? It's rewatchable. Maybe rewatchability I'll give Little Miss Sunshine. How about that? I'll give it 4 points to 1. So what do you got?
We are opposite. No, it's not opposite. Production and acting, I gave to Budapest. Obviously, because Little Miss Sunshine,
yeah,
it was in a fucking car.
Yeah, for the whole thing.
But the story was super sweet. I loved how the whole family was like, we're going. That was super cute. Rewatchability, as I've said before we even started this, I've seen Little Miss Sunshine like 100 times.
Yeah.
Originality, it was very close. Because you're right. Grand Budapest was very like out there. But I gave it to Little Miss Sunshine.
What? But how that movie's not original?
Because
I've seen a billion road trip movies.
It was super sweet. And then, like, they have to run their van into
That's the one thing that I like that's original about it, is they have to
and, like,
push
the
this van.
son, like, it was relatable for me. How the son was just a fucking asshole. He hates his family. And then you have, like, I liked it. I will give you that. You know what? You gave me Citizen Kane. I will give you this option.
Thank you. Grand Budapest wins.
Okay.
Thank you. But I do
if it
understand
was up to me,
you. Yeah.
I love that movie. Don't get me wrong. Like, Grand Budapest, you got acting and those are 2 very large, important points.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, because obviously it has it over the acting. But yeah, I'll give it to you. Fine. So, Grand Budapest. Sorry, Little Miss Sunshine. You're one of my favorite movies. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
But it's okay. You can have it. So, Grand Budapest carries on.
Spoilers next.
Spoilers! Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Oh, we're getting fun.
We're getting fancy with it. Okay. One thing I love about Grand Budapest Hotel, throwing it out there, I love how Ralph Fiennes repeatedly turns to Zero and says, "You mustn't tell anybody about this.
Yeah.
Not a word to anybody." In the movie is him telling somebody, like it's him when he's older telling the younger writer.
Right, about the whole story.
Yeah, so I love the idea that he says it probably at least 4 times. You can't tell anybody about this. And I think that's a funny bit that keeps happening.
One of my favorite things, which he stopped it, I didn't like that, was they always said, are you blah, blah, blah from the Grand Budapest Hotel or whatever? And he's like, yes. He's like, follow me this way. And then he has to keep doing that in like a line of like 8 different people in like 8 different minutes.
Yeah.
And then by like the 6th person, they're like, are you? And he's like, yes, I am. Let's go. And I'm like, oh, that was actually getting funny. I like that. He had to keep hearing that whole title over and over and over and over.
So right off the bat, I think the movie's fantastic. I think, first of all, we're introduced to Tom Wilkinson. And with the little kid, I think it's a fucking great joke where he's talking to the camera and he's like, it's like a super serious tonight. He's like, hey, no. And then it turns to like a little kid shooting him with a BB gun.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to him and he continues on. And then the kid comes back and he's like, I'm sorry. Genius. Right off the bat, I think it's hilarious. Jude Law, he doesn't really do much in the movie, but he's pretty good.
It introduces you to that girlfriend. Isn't she was she big before this movie? With the birthmark.
I believe, I see, unfortunately I don't know how to pronounce her name. I believe it's Sasha Ronan. But it's like spelled like Cerise or...
I've seen her on interviews on like celebrity interview talk shows, but I never actually knew what she was from. And I finally watched this movie and I'm like, there she is right there.
She's huge. She's in a lot. She was in like Lady Bird a couple years ago, which she was big in. She was in like Little Women this year.
Okay.
Maybe it was like 2 years ago. But either way, she's fantastic in the movie too. But yeah, like I first of all, Jason Schwartzman makes a nice little cameo as like the new M. Gustav.
Yeah.
But I love like how things have changed. Like he doesn't give a shit. And like the one guy, I love it's like the one guy starts choking and he like runs away, and then Jude Law doesn't care, so he just kind of like leaves. That's funny. But yeah, everybody's great in the movie. As
I said, the cameos are amazing.
Oh, they're amazing. So yeah, Harvey Keitel played the guy in prison who helps him break out.
Okay. I have to watch the scene again because now I...
Yeah, so that's it.
And it sucks because I've met Harvey Keitel in person and I still didn't even know.
So he's great in the movie. Yeah, Edward Norton shows up as the soldier. But then,
I had to Google him. I needed to make sure that was Edward Norton.
Owen Wilson makes an appearance towards the end.
I did not know he was in there either. Yeah, he's like the manager or something with the hotel.
Well, he works with like the ZZ, right? Which is like supposed to be like their version of the SS. I don't know. The cameos are fantastic. I love the storyline. I love the idea that it's like, I love how like he steals the painting and he replaces it. Again, another scene where it's like, you don't expect it because it's such a light movie. But like he steals the painting and then he replaces it with like the most like graphic painting in the world. You're like, holy shit!
The guy like eating a chicken.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's 2 women, but they're like playing with it. But it's still like, oh my god! Like you just don't see it coming. And then like there's so many violent just moments. Like Jeff Goldblum gets his fucking fingers cut off. And then like there's 2 dudes in the prison who like stab each other to death. That's fucking crazy. I love the scene. I think it's a funny bit when Dimitri, like the son, he runs upstairs and pulls a gun out and fires, and then all of the soldiers come out of their rooms and just start firing at each other. It's a funny bit. I think it's
and they're all across the stairway, and Buddy's just in the elevator, and he's the one that they're all supposed to be after. They're all shooting each other. Yeah.
And I'm happy that the kid who plays Zero, I believe his name's Tony Rivoli, I believe, something along those lines. I'm glad that he's kind of big right now too. This was the first time I ever saw him, and I don't know if he was in anything. I've never seen him. But like now he's playing like Flash in the Spider-Man movies, like the bully Flash, and he's in he's in that Servant show that we were talking about.
Oh,
he's in Servant, but he plays a small part in Servant. But still, he's in it. But like, so if I see him, Ralph Fiennes gives one of my favorite performances. I love the fucking him in the cologne. Like, I think it's a funny bit.
He's like, is that what I think?
And then he like hands it to the kid, and the kid's like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's so funny.
His mustache, by the way, is amazing. His little
he just
marker.
Draws it on. I think it's fantastic. I love the Society of Crossed Keys. That scene where he's like,
we have no other choice, and he calls in the favor, and it's just like
Yeah,
one guy calling another guy, calling another guy.
Loved that it showed all the keys.
Yeah,
I loved that.
and everyone was like a different color, and like you could tell it's a different part of the world. Like you could tell like one's in like the like Asia, one's like in fucking United States.
I
like,
wish it was like that. I wish I could call up, someone, and they'd be like, if I worked for the Hilton, and they'd be like, okay, and they'd call the next Hilton and the next Hilton, and they would actually like help me. I would really like that. That'd be a fun world.
That'd be badass. So fun movie. Yeah, she's really good in it as like his
Josh
wife.
Freeman?
Yeah. I think it's so interesting that they just kind of kill her off. Actually, they do it to both of the main characters. They just like.
Well, they explain what happened.
Yeah, but it's so like brushed over. But maybe that's just life. Maybe that's just like, it's just like, like we got married and then she died like 2 years later.
Yeah, what else is they gonna say?
It's just, I don't know. It's just like so like, and then the same thing with M. Gustav dying at the end.
Yeah.
They're like, what happened? Oh, they took him out and just shot him, and these things happen. And it's just like, but it's such an interesting way to approach it. Like, I think a different filmmaker would have shown that.
Well, I think it seems like it wasn't part of the story. Meaning, like, it's not what you're supposed to remember of the story.
That's true.
You're supposed to remember all of this and him meeting the wife and him,
That's a good point.
You're not supposed to be the last thing you remember of this character is dying of birth, losing their kid.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point, actually.
Also, I think maybe the storyteller might have been asked this question so many flippant times that now he's just sick of talking about it. So he's like, listen, they died. That's it. Carry on. Like,
it's true. I actually think of it as maybe the storyteller, he doesn't want to talk about things that make him sad.
That too.
Maybe like, because like he avoids her for the first like quarter of the story.
Yeah.
And then he stops, and then like it cuts to Jude Law, and he's like, that's when I noticed he was crying. And he's like, I guess it's impossible to avoid it now. I have to start talking about her. And then it goes back. So maybe it's just like him avoiding the really sad parts.
Right.
He's like, oh, she just died, and they just took him and shot him. And anyway, and then like, anywho, like let's go.
That's a good point too.
So it's very interesting what they do in this movie, and like just storytelling in general, right? Because like the movie itself is like the story, which is told to Jude Law, who when he's older writes the book, to after he died, a girl is reading the book, right? And that's how it opens.
Yeah.
Is the girl reads the book at his grave.
Because all the keys were on
So it's like one of those things where it's like,
we're in some Inception shit.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's a good. I think it's a good movie. I'm glad it moved on. But Little Miss Sunshine is also a great flick. I'm not shitting on it.
Excuse me. That movie.
I don't know. Like, I obviously know why, but I don't know what it like. Ever from the point in which Dwayne has the meltdown, and Olive walks up and gives him a hug, for the rest of the movie, I was trying really hard not to cry. I don't know why. And I don't cry very often, so it's one of those weird things.
That moment, when I first watched, like I have goosebumps right now. I remember just thinking, oh my God.
With him having a meltdown?
Poor guy. Because how would you know? You wouldn't know. And of course, she's just being stupid, like bored. Like,
she's just a kid,
what letter is this? And he's, and it's that whole, you have your, like, okay, just for example, like, my sister-in-law, like, she's wanted to be a dentist since she was like 8 or 7. Well, she's now 18 and she's going to school for dentistry. Imagine finding out you've had a dream and you're actually doing it for 10 years.
And something you can't control.
It stops you.
Yeah.
Right. And that moment, I feel so bad that he has the determination to go silent. He has the drive. He has the right thought. And then something you can't
just
control.
Something shitty. And it's a really shitty moment for Frank when he, like, because he's like, I think you're colorblind. And then he has this look on his face where he's like, almost like, should I tell him?
He doesn't know what that means.
Yeah, it's like, you can't fly jets if you're colorblind, man. Like, it's like, that sucks. Like, this poor guy.
I agree with that. I agree. I felt so fucking
me too. And her hugging him is super cute. And it kind of plays into a scene that happens earlier in the movie, which I didn't actually remember until I watched it this time. There's a scene, and I don't remember why, but the mom is crying over something. And I want to say it's maybe when the grandfather dies. But she's crying in a waiting room.
Yeah, and then he says, go
hug mom. And then she gets up and hugs him. So it's very cute that she noticed that he needed a hug.
Yeah.
And she's like...
She now clicked, like, oh, if you're crying...
Yeah, I should give this kid a hug.
You should kind of go give him a hug.
And I love how, like, he is so, like, I'm not going fucking anywhere. And then she, like, hugs him, and there's, like, this moment, and then he's like, all right, let's get out of here.
But, yeah,
And it's good. It's actually super interesting. And I think that they brush over really quickly that it might actually explain why he's so pissed all the time. So he's a kid from a different marriage.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yes. They didn't really brush over it as much as they should have because I didn't know that. I was reading up on Little Miss Sunshine and that's how I found out.
See, I caught it this particular time. The only reason why I caught it, I don't even think you meet the character yet. I think she just says Dwayne was down south with his dad. And Olive went to so-and-so and she's joined the Little Miss Sunshine. And then, but that's the thing. The focus is on the fact that Olive went to that Little Miss Sunshine contest. But like, they say Dwayne went to his, so I'm like, oh, Dwayne went to his dad's house. What is that supposed to mean?
That was so odd because as I've seen the movie so many times.
Yeah.
And I was Googling like a character, something very specific, and then it said, Dwayne, the son from another marriage. And I'm like, that's why he has black hair.
Yeah.
That's why he's so pissed off.
And that's why he yells divorced at her. When he was like super pissed.
Right.
And he's like, I'm a loser. And he's like, you're suicidal. You're divorced. You're bankrupt. I'm the loser. I'm surrounded by losers.
I thought he was talking about like
they're going to get divorced.
They're going to get divorced.
Which would make sense too, right? Because they're like yelling through the walls and he was listening. And he like,
right, and
he weirdly enjoys listening to it.
Because even Buddy says like, he turns on the TV, Frank, and he turns it off. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that either. Yeah. Until I watched it, this time. And I've been watching that movie since it came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that the father and mother are realistic. Like, it's a very, we're trying to stay together for the kids kind of feeling.
Such a loser, though.
He is such an asshole.
There's something
but
about
some women would, if you're already married, you would stay, right? Like,
yeah.
He doesn't hurt her in any way. Not like that, just financially. And
yeah, that's true. There's a scene in the movie where, like, I'm assuming you've been in situations like this because I know for sure I have, but it's like so the scene in the movie is when they're at they're eating breakfast and she orders the ice cream.
Yeah.
And then the dad's like
I'd be pissed.
Do you know ice cream will make you fat? And it cuts to the three guys. It cuts to Frank, the grandpa, and Dwayne, and they're just kind of like looking up at the ceiling like I should fucking say something. Like, but I don't know if I should say something.
You're not going to have the ice cream, then I will.
And and I love that's where they went. And then she's like, no, I'm going to eat it. I love that. My
favorite part of this whole goddamn fucking movie is when she meets that Miss America and she asks her, or Miss California.
Yeah, and then she's like, I eat ice cream
do you like ice cream? And she's like, I eat ice cream all the time.
Oh,
and you could
cute.
just see like her whole body was like... No, and it sucks because I've definitely witnessed people saying stuff like that.
Like to their kids, and you're just like, I don't know if I should say something. Like...
I have absolutely said something. It depends if I'm at work. It's none of my business if I'm at work because I'm a server, right? So if they're like, you don't need any more fries, you're already fat or whatever, that's your fucking problem. I'm getting paid. I can't say anything.
Yeah. But like,
but like in person, I say stuff. I don't deal with that.
Yeah, no, I've definitely been in situations like that where I'm like kind of like those guys. I'm like, I feel like I should say something.
Well, I've always been the chubby person, and so have you, right?
Oh my god, yeah, I'm very overweight. So it's I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, but it's not even about that. About like really anything. Like somebody saying something.
Yeah.
It's just like, ooh, that's that's
Yeah,
not very.
I
Good.
have had the only time I won't say anything. There's a big difference compared to an adult saying something rude to a child. I don't deal with that. It's just my opinion. You can treat it however you want. I don't get in if it's couples. I have had a man say something he definitely shouldn't have to the woman at my bar. Just call her a fucking slut. You're trying to suck it, whatever. Right?
Yeah.
And I here's your drink. Bye. And let me know when you're empty. Like, if you're an adult, I don't fucking deal with that. You can call her fat all fucking day. She has the money to go and leave. She has the,
Yeah, a little kid. It's
a
such a
kid. It's
influential
like, you're an
age
asshole.
and everything too. Yeah, like what a piece of shit to say that to
Right.
your kid. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, and the thing, you can tell everybody's thinking it. Everybody's like, this guy's the biggest fucking douche. And I love how Frank is so much smarter than him, and like the dad tries to like almost bully him a little bit, but he's like, oh yeah, good for you.
Because he even says, like, I feel your hint of sarcasm. And it's like, because he's just going off about himself. And Frank's like, all right, well, no. Because it goes back to Frank and him having a hard time at the dinner table. When they first get introduced to the character.
Yeah.
Whenever he's like, what happened to your wrists? And the dad's like, we're not talking about this. And the mom's like, why not? Like, she has to be... Do I think? No, I don't think maybe she should have. He should have went that far into deep.
And so actually, this is very interesting. Actually, like it's the exact opposite end of the spectrum, where it's like, I think, like, you know what I mean, where it's like, he definitely shouldn't have told her that if you eat ice cream, you get fat. But like on the other end, maybe the mom shouldn't have fucking told her that her uncle tried to kill himself.
Yeah.
Like,
but it just shows you how like on level they are.
Yeah.
Like as a couple. You can tell they're pretty much disregarding what the other says. While in my relationship, I have extreme respect for my man. If he doesn't want me here on Wednesday nights with my own brother, I'm not going to be here on Wednesday. Because if it doesn't make him, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right? Meet in the middle. But you could tell that couple because he said no and she's pretty much said, fuck you, and said it anyways.
Yeah.
Which, in that one part with the weight loss, she said, shut the fuck up, and he continued.
Because he's a douche.
But like they both
But
are
at the
just...
but at the same time, at the very end, he's the one who starts dancing with her on the stage, which is super cute. And then they all get on the stage and dance with her.
You know what? I have to applaud. Okay, I get it. The dad is a fucking asshole.
He's a huge douche.
I get it. And I know men like that, and that sucks, right? But the part in the hospital is when I actually felt related to him.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it. We're going. Like,
whenever he kind of said, you know what? I do not agree with this. This is what we're doing. We are doing this now. It's illegal, Dad. I don't care. You go out the window. I'm doing this with or without you.
Yeah.
I have to appreciate that kind of...
It's
a fucking weird moment. But...
It's true. And I love the two boys. And they're like Frank and Dwayne. And they're trying to like exit. But the door won't open. And they're just trying
to go press that button.
Yeah, and they're trying to like... just like very nonchalantly get out, but it's just the door won't open. Hilarious.
And like my favorite was like the funeral people have to come to the car and they're like opening the trunk and he's just sitting there like dead in the trunk. Like, we found him dead in the back seat. I was like, what a good lie. That was a good one. But yeah, I did respect him for that. But as a character, he's a douche. Yeah, you shouldn't have said that to the daughter. Which, I get it, you want your kids to be thin and whatever. But coming from, like, man, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I've seen chunky kids go super skinny. Skinny kids go fat. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
At that age. So don't be an asshole to your kids. Let them eat ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell them to go run around the block after. Okay.
But yeah, even like... And there's that weird scene, too, at the end where all of them realize that she's gonna get laughed at, and all of them are trying to make it so she doesn't go on stage. It's fucking super sad too. It's such a sad scene. Like,
whenever they're like, they're gonna laugh at her mom, like this is for her.
Yeah, like,
you know what though? You have to appreciate them for letting her do it anyways.
Yeah, 100%.
Where the mom just said,
"This is what you want to do. Let's do it."
Do you want it? Because I would do the same thing. I'd be like, you want to embarrass? If my kid is ever the most shittiest singer, but she thinks or he thinks he is amazing, I will be at every show. I will drive you. I will support you. I'll put up flyers.
It's true. Yeah, no, it's true.
Man, it gives you dreams, man. And I'm sorry, it's going to teach you the fucking realization that people are going to be assholes, whether you're good or bad. It doesn't matter.
It's true.
Because people are either jealous or you're really shitty. It doesn't matter. You know.
It's the world we live in.
Yeah, I like that they let her dance. That was super cute. Because there was a second there where I was like, and then nobody watched the choreographic. Nobody? So she's like humping the air, throwing her like pants.
The tiger. I love like the last thing he does with her. He's like, show me your tiger fist.
Yeah, and it's just ridiculous. It just shows you how like in each other's heads they are.
Yeah.
You know, where they're so full of themselves that none of them on this 2-day trip thought, hey.
It's a good point, actually.
Hey, what is your choreography? Why are we driving all this way?
Yeah, show me. And that's the thing, she always says, like, I gotta practice a little bit. I'm gonna practice up here.
She practiced in the parking lot with their car when they were at the auto mechanic.
And nobody, and so much so that they fucking forgot her there.
No, that was the store.
That was a story. But still.
But like the auto mechanic, like, I almost called him Drew. What the hell's his son's name? Dwayne and the grandpa are literally just sitting on the side on tires, and she's running around them, and it's like, neither of you thought to ask her?
Well, the grandpa obviously knows because he taught her all the moves, but like...
No, then it was Frank sitting there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and it's just like, neither of you thought to ask her? Like, what the hell?
That's a good point, though. Maybe they're all just super selfish people. All of them, right?
Dwayne is just sitting in the back fucking hating his life till end of day.
Yeah.
You know, poor Frank saw the fucking ex-boyfriend before that.
Yeah.
So he's all fucked up. You know, it's so sad. And the grandpa, obviously, is fucking kaput. And the dad is thinking of his 7 fucking steps. Yeah.
What a fucking loser.
And the mom does nothing. I don't know what she does. And my favorite is that dinner in the very beginning when she's like, this is dessert. And it's like fudgicles.
Doesn't she pull one out and start eating it too? And like she does the whole scene eating this like frozen thing. And you can tell she's just struggling through it. She's like trying to say lines. And it's like there's this fucking cold popsicle in her mouth.
You know, I respect what you said earlier. I really like her as an actress. Because I did see her, one of my first movies I ever saw her in was with Cameron Diaz. Shoes.
Oh, is it In Her Shoes?
In Her Shoes.
Yeah.
That was her, right?
I believe so.
In Her Shoes. So I actually really liked that movie. That was the first movie, but she always plays the same character. The nut job, ADD, OCD, not ADD, excuse me, OCD, like...
Mother? Or sister.
She's not right, but like she's just so uptight. It's unfucking real.
It's true. It's funny.
Even in Hereditary, she was the same character.
The first thing I think I ever saw her in was The Sixth Sense, where she played his mom, and she is really good in that movie.
I don't really remember the movie.
She played like his mom, and like
that's the I See Dead People. Right?
Yeah. And like she's like so worried for her kid. Like that she thinks her kid is like mentally unstable, right?
Okay.
Like or like needs help, right? But she's having a hard time admitting it. Like so it's really interesting role for her. Like because he obviously thinks he's obviously weird, but he doesn't tell her that he sees dead people. So like she just thinks he's fucking weird. He needs help. Yeah, like
you're fucking weird.
It's an interesting role, but I don't know.
She always plays the same character. Yeah. Has she played any comedies? Do you know? I didn't really look at her filmography.
What did I literally just see her in? Oh, she played a really weird role recently. She was in the XXX movie that just came out, like maybe a year or two ago. The one like the second one with Vin Diesel in it.
Yeah, that was Vin Diesel movie. Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
She played like an FBI agent or something. But she had like slicked back hair. It was very strange. It took me a second. I was like, who the fuck is this?
Her teeth are so fucking like you can tell it's her by her teeth.
Yeah.
Thank her for never fixing them because now I will forever know.
It's true. It's like the
it's her staple.
It's like the girl from Dirty Dancing in her nose, right?
Yeah, don't fix your fucking well, no, there's a difference between teeth and a nose.
That's true.
Her nose was just It's like the gap in your teeth, right? It's like what is pronounced ugly is actually beautiful.
It's unique. It's
So the big nose was a big thing. Her teeth, you're right, but I think she can fix it. But that gap in your teeth,
yeah.
I remember models filling it, and they had to go back to their dentist and get it removed, because at the time they started, it wasn't pretty, and now it's acceptable, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah,
anyway.
she's a great actress. Honestly, I like everybody. I've seen the dad before in another
Oh,
movie.
Greg Kinnear, yeah. He's in a lot. He's in like Mystery Men. He's in
There's a
a lot of shit.
no, that's not the guy from The Mist.
No, that's Tom Jane.
No, never mind. There's a movie like that I've seen him in. Pretty sure.
Anyway, I think it's really all I got with these two movies. What do you think? Anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. I'm sorry, Little Miss Sunshine.
She tried hard.
Sorry.
She fought hard.
No, I didn't. I was kind of like, it's your house. Yeah, sure, why not? He fed me BLTs. Fine, that's good. No, honestly, I actually didn't mind Grand Budapest. Rewatchability, I don't think I want to rewatch it again.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
But other than that, I liked it, and it carries on. So semifinals, Budapest, you carry on.
Cool.
Sorry,
All right.
Little Miss Sunshine.
That's it. That's all.
Bye, 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 bye.